Hello, my name is Tanner Litchfield. I'm an investor and an agent based here in Utah. Today, I am going to be talking about how I run numbers on a flip. Now, if you're looking to wholesale, if you're looking to flip something yourself, I hope that this is beneficial. But I'm going to be talking about all the expenses incurred in a flip because a lot of people get into deals that they think are going to be winners, but they forget about all their expenses and they lose money. So I'm going to use an example today about a flip that I am currently taking down. And I'm going to talk about what I thought it would be and what it's sort of turned into, which is not a great story, but I'm sharing L's like I always do. And this is one of them. So I jumped into a property in Orem, which is a town in Utah that I was pretty excited about. It is a top bottom. Which means it has a mother-in-law in the basement that you can rent out. In Utah County, these products are highly sought after. Everyone's cheap in Utah County, and they want to subsidize their mortgage with renting out the basement. You can call them cheap, you can call them smart, whatever it is. It's a hot product. So I let that emotion get to me, and I was like, people want this deal. I'm going to buy it. So I bought this property at $365,000, and my estimated ARV at the time was $535,000. So let's plug this in here. This calculator that I'm using is something that I've used for the last several years. It is a calculator that I got from James Daynard, who is one of the best investors I know in the Seattle area. So if you don't follow him already, make sure you do. He's a freaking stud. So had to give that shout out there. So I bought this one for $365,000. My estimated ARV was $535,000. And at the beginning of this deal, I was assuming I was going to put $70,000 in and that I would get this done in 6 months. Actually, I honestly thought it was going to be 5. And that's with selling it too. And I'll talk about the story more. But so here's my numbers. I use this one on the left because it's a standard hard money loan and it helps incur all the expenses for us. So let's go through this. I thought, I was going to buy it at $365,000. My rehab was $70,000. The all-in project cost was going to be $435,000. And this was my down payment needed for the hard money loan. So my loan to the hard money was going to be $310,000. And I was going to pay 1 point to the hard money lender, which was $3,102. So in those 5 months, what a lot of people don't expect is holding costs, right? If you're paying hard money, it's typically 12%. That's 1% of your loan value every single month. So if my loan is $310,000 every single month, what's 1% of 310? $3,100. So every single month I'm paying $3,100 just to keep this deal going, right? So, and then also there's property tax, utilities, and insurance on the flip, and those are incorporated there as well. So all my total direct cost was $456,000. I was expecting to sell at $535,000. My real estate commission was not going to be 6% because I am an agent myself. So I was going to just do a buyer's agent commission at 2.5%. Utah doesn't have excise tax, so that's not included here. Make sure you figure out what your state does and doesn't have. And then title and escrow fees, total selling cost $14,000. My all-in profit was going to be $63,000. I was ecstatic. Things are moving. It seemed to check out. Now, what I did not incorporate was an accurate rehab, which happens a lot in this industry. I am not a construction master, and I should have had my contractor walk with me, but I felt rushed because it was a wholesale deal, and which is no excuse. I just didn't have my contractor with me. So I kind of eyeballed it myself. 70,000 will do the trick. And I missed 2 major items that hurt me bad in this deal. One, I needed to do a complete rewire, which is going to cost 18 grand. And number 2, I was told it was a metal roof that was installed fine and it was fully operable, which was complete opposite. So I needed to do a full roof replacement of 15 grand. So that hurt itself. Now, the other thing that really killed this deal is I found out that an addition that was made on this property was impeding on a setback. The addition was going too close to the neighbor's lot lines on actually two of the neighbors. So the city called it out. Now I had to take that off of the property, which was garage. So I wasn't losing true square footage, but because the city knows, now I got to get a permit to get that removed. And if I'm getting a permit to get that removed, now I got to get permits for the entire project. I don't typically do permits, but in this case, I was forced to do permits, and it slowed my project down tremendously. I'm still in this process. So now here's what happened. Now my estimated fix up with those incurred expenses and other things that came up, I'm 120 grand. Now I'm estimating this project to take 8 months because of tearing down the addition, the permit process, and the other fixes that I needed to do. So you can see what this has done to my deal. In a good scenario, this deal is not done. So there might be other expenses that come up. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully I save a little bit of money, but honestly, I'm probably close to a break-even deal. I'm going to make 2 grand for a lot of headache that it is not worth it whatsoever. So flips can be super lucrative, but you need to make sure you're incurring all your expenses, and you also need to make sure you have a contractor walk so you have a decently accurate construction budget. I am not the best at this. I am not the best flipper by any means, and so you can see where this deal went sideways. So let's say you're going to wholesale this deal, and it was like the original numbers that I thought. If you buy it at 365 and you try and wholesale it for, let's say, 380, and the flipper is only going to make 40 grand for a lot of risk, like myself, I thought I was going to make 60 grand, but things come up and now I'm not going to make much at all, and maybe lose money, right? Investors are going to want to pay a premium for your deal. There's a lot of risk at hand, and there's a lot of expenses that you might not be aware of. I hope this video helps. If you're looking to wholesale flips, make sure you add up all the expenses, and happy hunting. Make sure you subscribe. There's going to be a lot more videos like this of documenting where I've come from in my investment journey, and I hope you follow along.